You vibrate through this existence with the frequency of sound, the frequency of light. At the end of light, there is darkness. In the void, there is a dimension of mind. You're moving into a space of secret realities, of hidden dimensions of people and of places. You've just entered the forbidden timeline. Most of what we think we know about ancient history is a story stitched together by a handful of institutions. Textbooks tell us civilization is only about 6,000 years old, but scattered across the world, from North America to Africa to Asia, we find ruins, artifacts, and stories that point to something much older, something powerful, something deliberately pushed into the shadows. Today, we're stepping outside the mainstream timeline. We're going to uncover evidence of a forgotten civilization that advanced, spread, and fell long before the versions of history were taught. This is the forbidden timeline. There are structures across the world that don't fit neatly into the historical timeline. Megalithic foundations under American mounds, ancient bricks fused by heat stronger than modern kilns. Stonework so precise we can't replicate it. Myths describing black-skinned and copper-skinned ancestors with advanced knowledge. These clues suggest a civilization, or multiple civilizations, far older and more capable than we're told. But mainstream archaeology often labels these anomalies as coincidences, misinterpretations, or outliers. Except they're everywhere.
The great waters came before the sky turned black. There were cities of light, and the people walked with knowledge.
Let's take a look at architecture. Across continents, separated by oceans, we find pyramids, trilithons, underground tunnels, earth energy alignments, megalithic calendars. These aren't unique to Egypt or Mesopotamia. They appear in the Americas, Indonesia, Turkey, China, Sudan, and more. Civilizations supposedly isolated from one another, built nearly identical structures using nearly identical geometry, with nearly identical myths about where the knowledge came from.
It was the first people who shaped the stones. Their hands carved what others could not.
Who were the first people? Why do global cultures describe them as ancient, advanced, and often dark-skinned? More importantly, why do these stories vanish from mainstream education? Because the older the civilization, the more the accepted timeline crumbles. North America, far from being a primitive landscape, is packed with evidence of complex, organized, and ancient societies. We're talking about 200,000 plus mounds, measured before removal. Pyramids older than Egypt's earliest dynasties. Advanced city grids mapped from the air. Stone chambers aligned to solstice. Petroglyphs describing cosmic events and migration stories. Genetic markers that don't match the timelines we're taught. Some early European explorers wrote about copper-colored, dark-skinned, or nearly black tribes with deep knowledge of astronomy and engineering. But these descriptions faded from history books.
The ancient ones were master builders. Their works lie beneath your cities, covered, hidden, forgotten.
What exactly was buried, and why? Multiple cultures describe a cataclysm, a flood, a firestorm, an ice wave, sky event, not myth, memory. Geological evidence shows disruptions around 12,000 years ago. Glacial melt surges, sudden extinctions, continent-wide fires. This period, called the Younger Dryas, aligns with almost every civilization's world-ending story. So what if an advanced population existed before that disaster? A population wiped out, scattered, or forced underground. This would explain sudden reappearance of civilization, sudden loss of knowledge, sudden rise of gods teaching humans how to rebuild.
We told them the world would fall. We carved the signs in stone.
And those stones still exist today. There are artifacts museums refuse to display, maps that show coastlines not visible for 10,000 years, skeletons that don't match expected features or timelines, megaliths built with technology modern engineers can't reproduce. Every continent has these anomalies, but they're treated as isolated myths instead of one global pattern.
The timeline was rewritten. Your history begins where ours ended.
So what does this all mean? It means the timelines we're taught isn't the full story. It's a chapter, not the whole book. Evidence suggests a civilization more ancient, more advanced, and more widespread than anything in the official narrative. A civilization erased, but the truth leaves fingerprints in stone, in stories, in artifacts, in the memories of the descendants of the first people. This is just the beginning. Welcome to the Forbidden Timeline.